The Las Vegas Raiders spent one season at the bottom and answered it with a full teardown. 3 wins, 14 losses, a fired head coach. Then owner Mark Davis handed the franchise to Clint Kubiak, the play caller who steered the Seattle Seahawks to a Super Bowl 60 title before the ink dried on his Raiders deal. Now a 5th-round rookie keeps stealing first-team snaps in front of proven veterans, and the building has started whispering his name. Nobody outside the facility saw him coming. General Manager John Spytek attacked the rebuild without flinching. He spent the #1 overall pick on Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza, the Indiana quarterback the Raiders never hid their interest in. He signed Kirk Cousins as the veteran voice and kept Aidan O'Connell as insurance. He anchored the interior around star center Tyler Linderbaum, then leaned on running back Ashton Jeanty and tight end Brock Bowers as the young foundation. One quiet offensive line signing reset a starting job nobody expected to open this spring. The reason behind it waits. The defense flipped to a 3-4 front under coordinator Rob Leonard, and the secondary looks nothing like the unit fans suffered through last fall. Eric Stokes returned on a new deal. Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker walked in at linebacker on fresh contracts. The draft poured 4 defensive backs into a thin room. Meanwhile, one AFC West powerhouse collapsed last winter, and the Raiders smell an opening the city did not feel a year ago. Every piece hints at a turnaround built faster than 3-14 suggests. The whole story starts under center, where the loudest debate of the offseason lives. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Raiders and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. The Mendoza conversation runs hot for one reason. Some voices around the team painted the rookie as a quarterback falling behind. The tape tells a calmer story. Mendoza opened the spring at the bottom of the depth chart by design, working a separate field with the other rookie prospects, while Kirk Cousins and Aidan O'Connell ran the veteran reps. Quarterback coach Mike Sullivan framed it plainly. No magic wand turns a college passer into a polished under-center operator in June. Mendoza is learning footwork, timing, and rhythm from scratch. Read the full picture, and the panic fades. Mendoza called himself leaps and bounds ahead of where he stood when workouts began, and Kubiak has refused to ease him in. The staff loaded his plate with multiple concepts and alignments on purpose. A Heisman winner does not earn comfort. He earns reps. The erratic throws fans heard about belong to a rookie absorbing an NFL playbook, not a prospect drowning in it. Cousins opens the season as the starter, and the runway behind him stays clear. The sneaky storyline sits one chair over. Aidan O'Connell keeps quietly making the case for himself. He owns real starting experience through brutal Raiders offenses and rough quarterback rooms, and the new staff respects what he brings to a meeting room. Cousins turns 38 this offseason while rehabbing a torn Achilles, so his timeline is short. O'Connell, as the bridge and long-term insurance behind Mendoza, is the value play nobody outside the building wants to discuss. The Raiders fixed the quarterback position in one draft pick. The harder fix waited on the next level of the roster, where the staff rebuilt an entire side of the ball. The Raiders gutted their secondary and rebuilt it from the ground up. Coordinator Rob Leonard installed a 3-4 base asking more of the back end, and Spytek answered with volume. He brought Eric Stokes back on a 3-year deal after the corner held opposing passers to a 56.7 completion percentage last season. He traded for nickel defender Taron Johnson, a player the staff plans to move around the formation. Then the draft hit the position 4 times in 3 days. The headline arrivals slid into their laps. Jermud McCoy fell to the 4th round at pick 101st, and the Raiders traded up 1 spot to grab him. Scouts tagged McCoy as a top 10 talent before a torn knee wrecked his timeline. He missed all of last season and carries real medical risk, but the ceiling reads like a future #1 corner. When healthy on the field in Las Vegas, McCoy looked the part of a first-round talent the moment he lined up. His knee decides whether the steal becomes a story. Behind those two, the room runs deeper than it has in years. Darren Porter flashed as a third-round pick a year ago. Decamarion Richardson and the rookie draft class give Leonard options he never enjoyed under the old regime. Jeremy Chin anchors the safety group after finishing second on the team with 114 tackles, and the staff loves sliding him into the box as a hybrid weapon. The defense suddenly owns competition at every spot. One of the loudest competitions belongs to a player the draft treated as an afterthought, the kind of arrival a thin receiver room desperately needed. Here's the name almost nobody circled on draft weekend. Malik Benson, the 6th-round receiver out of Oregon, taken 195th overall, has spent the entire offseason running past everybody. Benson ran a 4.3740 at the Combine, a top 10 time among receivers in the class, and the burst showed up the second he hit the practice field. He got behind the Raiders secondary on play after play during minicamp, the deep threat this offense has lacked for years. The journey makes the breakout sweeter. Benson bounced from junior college to Alabama to Florida State before Oregon brought out his best. In his lone Duck season, he led the team with 719 receiving yards and added 6 touchdowns, then carried a punt return score into a late season win. Kubiak handpicked him as a scheme fit, and the staff bumped him from the 3rd unit up to the 2nd team during mandatory minicamp. Teammates noticed. Trey Tucker called him fast, willing to learn, and a future great player. The timing matters more than the round. The Raiders traded Jacoby Myers last November and never replaced him. The receiver room leans on Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, Jack Besh, and a 38-year-old quarterback in Cousins, trying to resurrect his career off a torn Achilles. Philip Dorsett II has not appeared in a game since 2023. Into a group screaming for a vertical threat walked a 6th-round rookie who keeps taking the top off the defense. If Benson forces his way into the rotation, the whole offense changes shape. He is one surprise among several, and the deepest one hides in the secondary. Now the rookie the whole building keeps talking about. Hezekiah Masses, the 5th-round corner out of California, has done something 5th-round picks almost never do in June. He earned first-team reps. Masses spent 3 seasons at FIU before transferring to Cal for 1 dominant year, and he led the entire FBS with 18 passes defended while adding 5 interceptions. First team All-ACC, 2nd team All-American. The production matched the tape. The numbers explain why the staff trusts him this early. Masses surrendered one of the lowest passer ratings among his draft peers, and his coverage grade climbed every single season of his college career. He never plateaued. He kept improving against better competition, the trait coaches chase hardest. In Las Vegas, he stepped across from Eric Stokes and held his own against the team's top receivers, breaking up passes and playing the aggressive press style Leonard wants. Kubiak responded the way good coaches do. He challenged the kid publicly, demanding to see it again once the pads come on. Masses is not the only rookie climbing. 2nd-round safety Traydon Stukes rotated heavily through the first team, and 5th-round safety Dalton Johnson added depth to the same group. At linebacker, with Nakobe Dean sidelined through minicamp, the 2025 7th-round pick Cody Lindenberg stepped into the middle next to Quay Walker and held nearly every first-team rep across the spring. The Raiders unearthed contributors on day 3 across the board. A defense this young needs a soft division to grow into, and the Raiders happen to live in one cracked, wide open last winter. The AFC West shifted under everyone's feet last season, and the timing favors Las Vegas. The Denver Broncos ran the table at 14-3 and seized their 16th division crown. The Los Angeles Chargers followed at 11-6 and reached the playoffs before bowing out to New England. Those two set a high bar. The third team set the opposite one. The Kansas City Chiefs cratered. 6 wins, 11 losses. Kansas City owned the division for a decade and then missed the playoffs for the first time since 2014. The dynasty did not retire. It stumbled hard, and the rest of the division noticed the door swing open. For the first time in years, The path through the AFC West does not run exclusively through Kansas City, and a rebuilding Raiders roster gets a real measuring stick instead of an automatic loss. The gap remains honest. The Raiders finished last at 3-14 and surrendered 432 points, the worst mark in the division by a wide margin. Closing the distance in one offseason asks a lot, yet the schedule no longer feels hopeless. A healthier line in front of Mendoza, a rebuilt secondary, and a deeper front seven give Las Vegas a fighting chance to climb out of the basement and steal games inside the division. The Broncos and Chargers will not hand anything over. The Chiefs will not stay down forever. The window the Raiders chase opens now, and it opens widest in the trenches, where one signing quietly rewrote the starting lineup. Here comes the signing nobody expected to reset the lineup. Spencer Burford, the former San Francisco guard who already knows Kubiak's system, walked in on a cheap one-year deal and took first-team left guard reps from the opening practice. Reporter Sam Warren logged the starting line again and again with Burford at left guard next to Linderbaum at center. The previous staff handed jobs to connected veterans. This staff makes players earn them, and Burford earned his early. The ripple hit Jackson Powers Johnson. The former second-round pick owns top-tier talent, and the right guard spot reads as his to lose. The problem is health. Powers Johnson struggled to stay on the field through a rough second season, and a staff building protection around a number one quarterback needs bodies it trusts every Sunday. Burford brings 38 career starts and durability. The competition turned a position fans assumed was locked into a genuine fight, with Caleb Rogers and rookie Trey Zune the third pushing for snaps right behind them. That fight matters more than any single name. The Raiders fielded one of the league's worst lines last season, and protecting Mendoza ranks as the entire point of the rebuild. Spytech spent big on Linderbaum, kept Colton Miller at left tackle, drafted Zune in the third round, and signed Burford to flood the interior with options. Strength in the trenches keeps a rookie quarterback upright and a young offense breathing. The Raiders entered the offseason with a broken front and leave it with a real competition. All of it points toward one question fans will argue about until kickoff. So where does this leave the Raiders in 2026? The roster looks deeper, younger, and tougher than the 3-14 disaster fans endured. The trenches got fixed. The secondary got rebuilt. The skill positions got faster. The quarterback room got a franchise centerpiece and a steady veteran bridge. None of it guarantees a leap, but every honest signal points up rather than down. The smartest move left on the board involves Jeremy Chin. The hybrid safety crushed the spring. The coaches love his versatility, and he hits free agency after this year. Locking him up before he tests the market would protect the heart of this defense. Pair Chin with a healthy line, a developing Mendoza behind Cousins, and a wide open division, and the climb gets real. Here is the debatable line worth arguing over. The Raiders win 7 games minimum this season and finish ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs in the standings. Drop your own win total in the comments and tell me where I am wrong. Then subscribe before the next breakdown lands. One more storyline looms over everything. Brendan Sorsby, the Texas Tech quarterback tangled in a gambling and eligibility saga, applied for the rare NFL supplemental draft, and a high draft slot puts a team picking near the top in range to grab him. The Raiders sit in exactly the range to pull it off. Whether Las Vegas touches a fourth quarterback with off-field baggage becomes the next great Raiders debate. The new regime built fast, swung hard, and turned a 3-win team into a roster nobody in the division wants to overlook. The Chiefs left the door open. The Raiders walked through it.